Manos, God of primal darkness, as thou hast decreed, so have I done. The hands of fate have doomed this man. Thy will is done.
Wow, what a tour de force performance from the legendary Tom Naiman. That's right, that sound clip was the master from Manos, The Hands of Fate. Incredible. Hey guys, welcome to Markers of Monsters. I'm Colin, and today we are drawing the master from Manos, The Hands of Fate. Now, if you've been living under a rock for the past, 50 years, Manos, The Hands of Fate is a 1966 film, written, directed, and starring Harold P. Warren, and he made this movie on a bet. One of his filmmaker friends basically bet him, hey, I bet you can't make a horror movie for less than $20,000. And Harold P. Warren said, oh, you bet I can. And he did, having never made a film before. So the results are Manos, The Hands of Fate, and we are blessed to have such an amazingly bad film existing in our world today. The movie was shot in El Paso, Texas. And just for reference, that is, he shot it for, I think, $19,000, which is, by today's standards, it's not an insignificant sum. By today's standards, that's about $150,000. So, movies usually have budgets in the millions of dollars, so that is pretty darn low budget. But interesting story, and it made quite a movie. Now, as you can see here, this is going to be a very simple drawing and a quick video, but I just felt like talking about Manos for a little bit. I've just drawn the master real quick with his arms outstretched and his crazy hand robe, I guess, with the robe with a handprint on it, which, by the way, I want someone to make this for me. I'd wear it all the time. And he's just hanging out with some fire all spooky behind him. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but lots of fun to draw. Now, Tom Naiman, like I said, he plays the master. He has one film credit to his name. It's Manos, The Hands of Fate, so good on you, buddy. Where he plays the important role of the master, of course. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, it involves a family. The dad is played by Harold P. Warren, and his wife and their young daughter, and they're on their way to vacation in El Paso, Texas, driving around for 9 minutes because Harold P. Warren forgot or didn't have time to put in the opening credits sequence. So, they drive around for a while and end up, hey, we need to stop for a bit. So they end up at this spooky house by the side of the road, where Torgo is the caretaker. He looks after the place while the master is away. And Torgo, another actor with only one film credit to his name, is this weird dude. They tried to make him into a satyr, like a faun from Greek mythology, but the special effects made by the master himself, Tom Naiman, were put on backwards. So instead of him looking like he has backwards legs, he just looks like he has giant knees. Interesting. So anyway, he has the family stay there for a while. Their car won't start. The master is, taking brides for Manos, the god of eternal darkness. So he wants the wife as one of his brides, and maybe the young daughter too, because creepy, but Torgo wants to marry the wife, and basically stupidity ensues. So it's a great time. It's one of those movies that there's something about it. It's terrible, yes, but terrible in an incredibly watchable way. Like, get a bunch of friends together, have some beers, and just go to town watching this thing, having a lot of fun with it. Now, this movie was pretty obscure for 30 years or so, until it was picked up by Mystery Science Theater, those guys who riff bad movies for a living and introduced a generation to such cinematic gems as this. Pretty much until then, this movie, just nobody heard about it or talked about it. There's been some write-ups in a couple of different books I have from the early 90s, before Mystery Science Theater got a hold of it. And they'll just mention like, oh, it's a bad schlock movie and don't see it. Just a little tiny blurb. After the early 90s, when the Mystery Science guys got a hold of it, it's now legendary in its bad status. So, the write-ups after the early 90s got significantly longer and more detail came out about the movie. Interestingly enough, I think it was 2011, having bought a lot of film reels, a collector had seen Manos, the Hands of Fate in these reels and just thought, it's just a copy of Manos. Turned out it was the original work print that they made the movie off of. So they've been putting out, I think they kickstarted it, but in order to get a Blu-ray release, a high definition transfer. And I have to say, from what I've seen, it looks absolutely stunning. Like, it looks like an actual movie. Prints of this movie, it's in the public domain, so you can go watch it on YouTube right now. But prints of Manos look like it was run through, processed in a hobo's boot. It looks terrible. It's washed out, and the footage is just god-awful. The Blu-ray, however, the restored version, looks really good, really crisp and clear, like an actual movie. Another interesting thing, if you're watching Manos, pay attention to the sound, because they didn't have the capability to record on set. So, all the dialogue and everything was dubbed in later, always making for a good time. All right, so let me finish this guy up here. Let's just, very simple, straightforward ink job, inking the hands on the robe. Did you know that Manos is the Spanish word for hands? So really, this movie is called Hands, the Hands of Fate. Yeah, pretty sweet, huh? Even that wasn't hip. All right, let's take a look at the scan. I don't know what possessed me to do this. I've just been having fun. And like I said, short, straightforward, to the point. There he is, the master himself, from Manos, the Hands of Fate. Good times. Well, that's it for me. Check me out on social media. Drop me a line, all that fun stuff. You guys know what to do. You know the drill. But yeah, say howdy. I'd love to talk about Manos with you. That's it. We'll see you on the next episode of Markers and Monsters.
Ha 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 ha!